As week 10 of Oscar Pistorius' trial in the North Gauteng High Court comes to a close, I'm joined in studio by criminal law expert William Booth. Thank you for joining me.
Good to be back.
Now, it seems that Oscar Pistorius has a lot of allies testifying in his defense. First, his agent, and now his doctor. But as Harry Nell said yesterday, the doctor's hardly impartial.
I think that is something that has come out, that the evidence being presented seems to be rather subjective. Any expert who comes to testify has to do so in an objective manner, because one mustn't forget the court is an expert in the law, but not necessarily an expert relating to psychiatric evaluations, treatment, pathology, all of those issues. So the court has to rely on expert testimony to be able to draw its conclusions at the end of the case. So if you have an expert, seemingly an expert, coming to say things, they have to be objective, and in fact he has a duty towards the court not to come, whether he testifies for the state or the defense, not to come to court to kind of favor any side in the issue. So the defense should consult with their witnesses. If there's a problem about objectivity, they may not call them, and they must make sure that they're presenting evidence which is going to obviously assist the defense in their case, but also to make sure that at the end the court doesn't say, well, I reject the evidence because it does not place me in a position to look at all the factors in a completely and utterly objective manner.
Is Judge Masipa obliged to take into consideration everything that's presented to her, or is it up to her to decide that that wasn't actually a very impartial witness? At
the end of the case, when the defense has closed its case, which I think is going to happen one of these days, this could be the last witness. Then the defense and the prosecution will argue and present heads of argument. The court will deliberate, may need some time to consider everything, and the judge then has to look at all the evidence. It can exclude some of it, but obviously it'll have to give reasons. It might say that this witness is unreliable, is untruthful, it cannot be accepted. The same with any expert testimony. Or it might say, well, yes, I accept the evidence of a particular witness, but it's not really relevant. It doesn't deal with the facts that need to be considered to determine whether or not Oscar is guilty of any particular crime. It could say, well, hang on, I don't attach much weight to this evidence because it's not particularly relevant. But everything must be looked at, and at the end, the court might say, well, these are the witnesses I'm relying on, the others I'm not accepting, or I don't regard the evidence as particularly relevant, and then drawing the final conclusion as to the guilt or otherwise of Oscar.